was Dino and
Steve.
Steve.
Whose idea was it to print the lyrics all in a row?
Yeah, perhaps that wasn't such the brilliant idea. Well, it was our idea, you know. It was
different.
And that's really the reason why we did it. You know, we just wanted it to be different than other records, where it's always, you know, the lyrics printed like a little paragraph column. You know, I mean, we wanted it to read like a book, like a page you read on a book, because you know, it's a story. But we didn't really think that it was going to screw everybody up. But we have heard from time to time that you know, people have a hard time following it, and if you think you have a hard time reading it, you should have seen us trying to explain to the Scandinavians why we printed the lyrics like that. Because they have a hard enough time understanding English, let alone reading it. You know,
Darker prints, the beginning of it.
You know, but we did it just to be different. You know, that because you don't see albums printed like that, and we didn't want to do it like the standard record. You know, so sorry about that if it strained your eyes a bit.
All right. What are the ages of each other members?
We range from 25 to 29. Jeff's 29, I'm 25, Scott's 25, Michael's 26, and Eddie's 27.
Oh, and you're 26. All right. Who was singing in the band before you met up with Geoff?
Well, we didn't really have a serious band.
Well, you did that thing over at the detention center where all the people broke the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
Who was doing
Wow,
that
that's a long ways back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I hate this. I've still got it.
Sure. That was crazy. Well, that was a guy named Mark Hovland that I was in a band with. I mean, each of us before Queensryche were in a couple different bands, you know. Bands that weren't, you know, it wasn't writing original material really, with the exception of Geoff. Geoff was in another band called Myth that was writing their own tunes, but this was a guy that you know, I'd been in a band with for a while, and he briefly sang with the other four of us, you know, and we did this gig. It was really our only gig that we did at this juvenile detention center, and I'm sure that the people that run that place thought that was a big mistake after that happened, because the kids went wild and chairs were flying, and
What prompted that?
I just, you know, I mean, think about it. If you're locked up in some detention center, here comes a heavy metal band in one night, and the kids just, I mean, they loved it, yeah. I mean, it was, you know, it was great, you know. We were on this tiny little stage, you know, and, you know, we were playing other people's songs, you know, but, yeah, he sang with us for a while, you know, and that was like at the complete beginnings of the rest of the four of us working together. And we only did one show with this guy, you know. It didn't last very long, you know. There wasn't really any place to play anyway, and but we just had like one other singer, and one guy that sang on the tape for us who really sucked. So we didn't do anything with the tape. I think we burned it after we got done. It was really bad.
Do you have anything about your fan club?
We have all sorts of things through the fan club, you know. These we've got sweatshirts of all different kinds, shirts, necklaces, picks, earrings. Yeah, we've got these, you know, that symbol that's on our Tri-Ryche and burned into my arm, and a couple other places you can find it.
What is that anyway?
We call it the Tri-Ryche. And anyway, it's been on all of our records, and it's just sort of our little trademark sign, you know.
We came up with it, or
that's about all. It's actually got a little bit of history behind it, but I don't think it's really anything to, you know, it's just our little thing, you know.
All right. How's 206 Records doing right now?
206 isn't doing. It's defunct.
We started it and stopped it, sort of.
Well, it had a purpose, you know. We started it in 1983 to release our EP on. We came up with it with our former management in the band. We released it, and soon thereafter we got signed to EMI. So 206 disappeared. I mean, our former management tried to get another band, I think, on it. but it never happened, so it just folded. And that record on 206 actually is a bit of a collector's item because there was only about 15,000 of them pressed.
And same cover?
It's the exact same everything, except it just doesn't say EMI on the back. And the inside little circle, the label on the album is very different. The one from EMI has the EMI corporate logo and the band titles and everything, and the one that's on 206 has like this shield and the Queensryche logo on the front of it, and it's very different looking.
Alright. You held back the song Prophecy off of the Warning album. I noticed you had it before because on the videotape, that Japan videotape, it's on there, but but you held it back and you didn't even do it in Rage for Order.
Right. Well, we recorded it in the Rage for Order session.
Yeah, you released it later or something.
Yeah. Actually, it's coming out, that song. The CD of that Queensryche mini album that has Queen of the Reich and the Lady Wore Black and everything on it, that's being released, I believe, in January. And Prophecy is going to be included on that CD. And it's the version that we recorded with Neil Kernan during the Rage for Order sessions. And the reason it's on the CD is that song was written at the same time that the EP was written. It was back in like 1982 or something when we wrote that. And we never put it on the EP because we couldn't afford to. I mean, it took every bit of money we had just to get 4 songs done, And so we never released it on anything else because it didn't really fit in our eyes with any of the other material because it was written back at that early stage. But we put it on the video because it was in concert, and we released it as a B-side in England just because that was a very strange, it was a bonus track to put out. And now that the CD is coming out, of the mini album, the EP, we just thought that it was very fitting to include that in there, but the new recorded version of it, so
right.
That's the story on the Prophecy.
Do you have a personal favorite song that you do?
Do I have a personal favorite? Oh, I like a lot of them. I mean, I'm partial, I'm biased. I'm in the band. I could sit here and name off,
Well, I mean, I know your current favorite will probably change from time to time, but what is one that you just get a kick out of playing right now?
Well, anything from the new album. My headspace is really focused on this new record right now. I mean, I really enjoy. I mean, I could pick things from the other records. Neue Regel from Rage for Order is a song that I really, really like. I Will Remember, the little acoustic piece at the end of that. Off the Warning album, Roads to Madness, Take Hold of the Flame, NM156, just because it's so bizarre.
Speaking of bizarre tunes, Gonna Get Close to You, you guys didn't write that. Was that like a remake or something?
No, it's actually written by Lisa Del Bello. And it's
Did she record it herself?
Well, she had a version of it, that's hers that she wrote initially. And that's where we sort of went against the grain. Is probably the first and last cover that we've done. It was a very cool song. It was, her version, if you've ever heard it, is very different than the Queensryche version. But, it just had a very dark flavor to it, and we thought it fit in with, actually it arrived more as an accident, really. I mean, we just liked her album, something that, in the record collection, a new album comes on, oh, this is weird, this is out there, this is this girl, she sings very strange, So we put it on, listened to it, and we started messing around in the practice room when we were writing Rage for Order, and we just started sort of jamming our own version of it. And our producer, Neil Kernan, when we went in to record Rage, heard this when we were jamming about in the pre-production stages, and said, look, why don't we just record it, it's cool, let's see what happens with it. And once we got into the studio, it turned into a very intense song, once it made its way to tape, so we kept it, there's certain songs that work better than other songs, you know, from a live situation. I mean, like a song like "Take Hold of the Flame" off the Warning album has always been a very strong live song.
Yeah.
You know, there's an energy that comes across in the live setting that didn't quite come across on vinyl, in my opinion. You know, it's because there's something about that in the live setting you've got just, you know, unharnessed raw power happening, you know, and volume, sheer volume of a PA. Things sound so exciting, you know.
What prompted all the obscenities in Operation Mindcrime?
What four-letter superlatives printed in the lyrics?
Yeah.
It's just that it's in the story, you know. I mean, it's reality, you know. I mean, let's face it. You know, as much as people love to censor, you know, language out of lyrics and books and these sort of things. I mean, you and I use them. You know, even the most politest of people from time to time will be caught uttering, you know, a few words of, you know, whether it's however it's directed. You know, it's just in this story. It was very, you know, the story that we came up with is a very street story. You know, it's completely on the ground level. You know, these street punks that get mixed up in a violent, you know, assassination plot. You know, and they're strung out on heroin, and it's just like, I mean, in that sort of a situation, you know, that explaining that, I think, required. You know, at the beginning, you know, the nurse comes in, Nicky's laying in this mental ward, you know, watching himself on TV, his own newscast of people he's gone out and blown away, you know, and the nurse just gets disgusted with him, and that her remark, leaving, is, I think, in keeping with what, you know, a nurse, if some punk was laying in a bed that had just gone out and blown away a bunch of people, and he's under observation, and, you know, a nurse comes in and is just disgusted with the slime that she sees lying there that's supposedly had some cause, you know. I mean, as she walks away and says, you know, "Sweet dreams," trying to be professional, and then under her breath, you know, "You bastard," as she walks away. I mean, yeah, that's reality, you know. So we were just trying to be realistic, you know. We didn't suddenly, you know, learn words like those and just decide, well, let's put them in because that's, you know, that'll bother some people. Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, I don't think that they were over the top or anything, you know. It was just, you know, in the case of Sweet Sister Mary, you know, she was a whore for the underground, you know, it's what she did. I don't know how else you can describe that without taking up too much more space. Well, she went around performing illicit activities. You know, I mean, when you say a whore, then it pretty much sums it up, you know. Much to the disdain, I'm sure, of mothers across America. PMRC hasn't come down on us yet, you know, so, I mean, I'm sure they've got Slayer albums that they're much more concerned about than ours.
About your videos and stuff like that, there's really nothing on MTV that I've never cut anything. I've sat there like the whole time just waiting for a Queensryche video.
We have a new video that we're filming. It's going to be done in December in Los Angeles. It's for the track Eyes of a Stranger, and it's going to be, it's going to have quite a few bits from the story of the album intermixed with, you know, performance shots of the band, but it would be very much in a setting in keeping with what the album's theme is about. So it will definitely have a very twisted feel to it. And I'm hoping, you know, that, I mean, we're definitely sending it out to record shops and video outlets across the country, and whether MTV embraces the Queensryche video is yet to be seen. I'm sure it will find its way into Headbangers Ball, but whether it extends beyond that specialized programming, you know, we'll have to see. But I think our fans will be very happy. Those fans that have been glued to the television waiting for a Queensryche video will get one, you know, and a very cool one, I think. So,
do you know when it's going to be coming out?
At the very end of December or first week in January.
All right. Have you started the next album yet, or?
We started writing. We don't have a real lyrical direction solidly down yet, but we have started writing music. You know, we always have musical. Hey Josh, how you doing? We always have musical bits lying around. You know, we overwrote for this album. We overwrote for Rage for Order.
Have you got a title?
We're still writing. No title. We've got ideas, definite ideas going. You know, we try and keep ahead of the game a bit. You know, if we wait till the very end of the tour to start, you know, the rate it takes us to write albums, you know, I mean, we spend so much time on it anyway. If we waited till the end of the tour to start working on ideas, you know, you wouldn't see a record from us until '96 or something, you know. So,
who might you want to tour with in the future?
Queensryche.
Just yourselves?
Yeah, I think the opening gig is very good for us, but I think that the Queensryche fan deserves a headlining presentation very soon, and we're, you know, working very hard at trying to bring that about.
Yeah.
I mean, I could sit there and name, you know, people, you know, but we've toured with a lot of bands, and I think, you know, we'd very much like to be presenting our own shows, even if it's on a bit of a smaller scale. You know, we're not playing, you know,
I'm surprised there's not another date for you for this time around. I'm surprised you guys didn't go for an extra show.
Well, it's, you know, whether there would be 2 shows here with us while we're playing with Metallica is really dictated by the sales, you know. But I mean, this is an arena tour headlined by a thrash band, which is a bit of a phenomenon in itself, you know. I mean, Metallica has risen from the underground to platinum status. You know, it's something serious going on, you know, and you know, so it's a good tour for us to be on, and you know, like I said, we're doing headlining shows sort of in between, because there are certain markets where Queensryche can sell out the size of places that we're playing here with Metallica on our own without other bands. But you know, there's more to a tour than just saying, well, this pocket and this pocket. You know, a place like you know, Fayetteville, North Carolina or something, you know, is a place that we're still trying to break into a lot more fans, you know, and the tour goes to all these places, so as a whole, it covers more ground for us, you know.
Were you surprised at what kind of things are going on here as far as fans? You know? Yeah,
last night we went to this radio station, VBX, in town, and Geoff and I took over for an hour and a half. It was great. It's always nice to have a means of reaching them. You know, a radio station that will play ballsy tunes is few and far between these days, you know.
Yeah. We lost Xerox last week.
Really, that was in this market up here, Xerox. See, that's this hardcore satellite network, you know, it's just about it. So, I mean, you know, to be able to go out to a station like that's great, because, you know, the phone calls start coming in, we can start hearing from our fans, and they're playing our music, and it's cool, you know. You know, we're sort of in a little capsule, really, as we travel around. You know, we don't really get to see even, you know, the biggest bands. You know, when you're in the stadium, you know, in the arena or wherever, the theater, the stadium, wherever you're playing, you get to see the fans, but you don't really have that much contact with people outside of that, because you're being shuttled about in, you know, planes or trains or automobiles or whatever, you know, buses and things. So, you know, that's why we do things like today. We're doing an in-store. You know, we're going to this Rolling Stone Records, you know, and our people are going to show up there. You know, people that have our records and stuff, and we're going to hang out and say hi and sign their stuff and thank them for being into the band. You know, and that's the kind of way that we can get beyond sort of that barrier between the stage and the crowd. You know, and meet some of the people that have, you know, made it for us, you know, because if you don't have fans, you don't have anything, really. I mean, you still got a band, but, you know, it's watching some kid come up and go, God, your album, it hasn't left my cassette player, with this glaze in his eyes just looking at you, you know. That's, you know, that's what I get off on, that, you know, seeing a kid that's just freaked by our music, you know. I love that.
Out of the guitar parts that you and Michael do, which one of you does most of the, like, more melodic stuff, the slower acoustic type stuff?
Well, we both play lead and we both play acoustic, so I guess you just have to get specific and I tell you who's playing what. I mean, solo style, I tend to do, like on Mission, for example, the song The Mission on this new album, that's me playing the solo. On the song Revolution Calling, the middle solo, it's surrounded by double solos where both of us are playing, but the middle solo is Michael. Michael wrote the little acoustic piece at the end of side 2 called My Empty Room. And Geoff wrote the lyrics to it. But I wrote the acoustic piece before it with all the slide guitar called Waiting for 22. So both of us do acoustic bits, both of us do lead stuff. It just really, it's pretty, we're pretty versatile amongst both of us, what we do, It's like I don't just do this and he just does that, It's we both.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys added a lot of, back when you did Warning, you were adding violins and stuff. Was that Geoff's idea?
Oh, it just happened, I mean, I've got a guitar synth,
Yeah.
This real nice state-of-the-art Roland that I used on this album on the song The Mission. During the chorus, it has this big string sweep that sounds like sort of a Middle Eastern big sweeping string line, and that's all played on guitar. It's cellos and violins and everything. I played it all on my guitar. Geoff plays keyboards. He's very.
That's why.
He's got a real nice natural ability on the keyboard. So he brings in ideas like that. But we don't go. It's not a big focus in the band. We use effects to help enhance the songs, not to make the songs.
Yeah. All right. Do you like touring or do you like the studio better?
Well, if you ask me when I'm in the studio, I like the studio better, and if you ask me when I'm on the road, I like the road better. It's just the road's great. We get to present our stuff to the people, and it's great. There's an energy and there's a vibe at the concerts that's really great. There's nothing really like walking out on stage in front of thousands of people and playing your music and seeing them react. It's weird. It's butterflies. It's really exciting. But there's also something that's very intense about being in a studio, sort of this clinical environment, putting together this experiment, I always envision us as mad scientists in the studio, our little potions brewing around, as we're doing things, I like it, it's both of them cost tremendous amounts of money to do.
Most of the interviews that I see, they're usually with Geoff, and I wanted to actually capture stuff about you since we're interviewing you. When did you start playing guitar?
13. 13 and Houses of the Holy, Led Zeppelin.
Who are your influences? Or, again, we're recapping.
Beatles, Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page was like the big influence on me. When I first started playing guitar, that was, it was the Zeppelin albums. Houses of the Holy, Zeppelin 2, Zeppelin 1, Physical Graffiti, Zeppelin 4. I've got every Led Zeppelin album, But then as time went on, Edward Van Halen, Scorpions. I'm really into the guitar style of Scorpions. I think they've got a very, very great style myself. And recent people that I think are very talented, Steve Vai, and Trevor Rabin, who plays with Yes. The 90125 album and Big Generator, I think, are brilliant. Actually, 90125, all of it. Big Generator, about the first 6 tracks, and then it sort of takes this limp turn.
What do you listen to now? Do you have a cassette player upstairs that you're listening to something currently, or?
Let's see, what have I heard lately that I like? I like Guns N' Roses. I think they're ballsy. Different, Yeah. And I like what they're doing. Who else? What other tape have I heard? They're sort of, everybody likes, Guns is sort of the new popular thing, But I think obscure things that people haven't heard that I would recommend for someone's record collection might be Killing Joke. Have you ever heard of these guys? It's radical, weird punk band. It's like punk metal. Very, very strange. I mean, I don't know if the fans that like our stuff, you know, that are into like Priest and Maiden and Queensryche and I mean, but see, I listen to really weird stuff, you know. I mean, anything that's, you know, it's out there that's different. You know, stuff like this woman singer, Sinead O'Connor. You ever seen her? She's bald. She looks like a Manson. You know, she has got some cool songs. Very, very strange, weird stuff. You know, what else have I heard that's bizarre? Oh, I know what I've sort of, you know, like things that I've been listening to lately from a production standpoint I thought were very cool. The new Def Leppard album, Hysteria. We toured with them for 5 weeks. That's a serious, you know, the production on that album is great. And the new Scorps album, Savage Amusement, I like that. You know, that stuff in my sort of contemporary field that I've heard that I like, you know. I don't know, you know, everybody listens to everything, really.
Alright, you have a favorite guitar you always play on stage, or one for studio that you always play?
Yeah, I'm playing ESP guitars right now, and I've got two of them that are identical, slightly different pickup configurations, but the same body and neck and everything, which I selected everything, you know, how I wanted it built. And they put it together for me, and they're almost out of tape. And the album, and they smoke very, very aggressive, full tones. How are we doing on time, Josh? What time are we out of here? Just so I don't babble forever here.
Yeah, like 12 minutes.
Okay. To be, you know, loose. You know, give or take 12, give or take 5 seconds.
The drums in your new album seem like they were a lot more out front. Was there something differently done with them?
Scott hit them very hard.
As opposed to the last album?
He always hits them hard. We just had a great production team this time, you know. I mean, Peter Collins and James Barton and Paul Northfield, the people that worked with us on this record, are killer, you know, at what they do. I mean, they captured the energy of this album, I think, perfectly. And, you know, the guitars are in your face on this record, much more, I think, than any other album that we've done. And the drums, you know, every instrument, if you listen on CD to Mindcrime, every instrument, you can hear what's going on. Every vocal thing that's going on, every bass line, you know. You know, some mixes are designed to be, like, real loose, like this new Jane's Addiction, right? Very cool stuff, very psychedelic, weird sort of stuff. But if you listen to it, it's like the vocals are like mixed in this swirl of echo back. You know, you can barely even understand the guy. You know, it doesn't even matter what he's saying. He's sort of, and it just sounds weird, you know. But I mean, what we're doing is, you know, music where each part plays. You know, it's not like the overall sort of. You know, it doesn't sound like a blur. You know, it was all recorded digitally, mastered digitally, mixed digitally. You know, it's the 3Ds. You know, the audio connoisseur will find this CD on headphones to be almost painful. It's so clear.
Anyway, what kind of equipment do you have for your guitars?
Marshall amplification. We're also endorsed by ADA Electronics, who, you know, we've got a couple different rack effects that we use from them, guitar preamps and things. And all digital, everything's digital. You know, I've got a guitar, a sampler in my rack that's very...
Which one is that?
It's the Roland S550. It holds 2 floppy disks. It'll do like 30 seconds of sampling, 28.8 seconds of sampling at 30K, which is, you know, CD quality and better. It's very, very hip. I can sample any sound, you know.
Alright, the drums, besides being up front, they seem to be a lot quicker. You didn't have any, like, not a lot of the ballad stuff you used to have.
Yeah, it's a little more aggressive, the whole album is. That's just the nature of the story, you know. We like to write the music to fit what we're talking about, you know. And there's a couple instances where we have very atmospheric music. I think the song "The Mission" is very solid and laid back in tempo. And like "Waiting for 22," "Electric Requiem," and My Empty Room, and the beginning parts of like Eyes of a Stranger, you know. I mean, but it's generally a more aggressive album. Just that's where we were at, you know, when we were writing.
Was that you did the most input in? You feel the most confident that you like?
Well, The Mission, I wrote everything in that song: the music, the lyrics, the melodies, you know.
You feel like that was your baby of the whole project?
Well, no, I mean, Sweet Sister Mary was another song that I was involved in. You know, everybody, we're all involved in, you know, if there was a song that was my complete vision that turned out the way, it would be The Mission, because I wrote it, you know. But, you know, even the songs that I didn't have a hand in writing, I think that there was, you know, songs like, you know, Spreading the Disease, you know, Michael wrote the music to that tune and Geoff wrote the lyrics. But, you know, I play guitar all over that song, you know. And, you know, I'm really happy with the way that song turned out. You know, each of us, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's like, well, if Michael writes something, I'm not going to, like, not give it the same sort of intensity and same sort of dedication that I'd give a song of my own, because, you know, it's our band. Each song is Queensryche, you know.
Yeah.
So regardless of how its writing origins begin, each one gets, you know, the full treatment. I will play, you know, if Michael's got a song that he's worked on, it's really cool, and I'm, you know, playing the guitar part, I'll play that song, you know, 110% like I'd play one of my own, you know. So, because each of them, in essence, are our songs, you know. I mean, Scott can call any one of these songs his song, because it is. I mean, he wrote the drum parts for everything, you know. So it's a band effort, you know.
Yeah, I heard is the show sold out?
Pretty damn close. I think it's.
Yeah, because
they were giving out a few tickets.
They added general admission, but I'll bet those are going pretty quick.
Are you going to the show tonight, Frank? You going? See? You already got tickets. Okay, guys, I got to.